Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. A Lakers-Nuggets trade that could benefit two bitter enemies. The Los Angeles Lakers offseason was defined by Rob Pelinka's complete unwillingness to do anything productive. That sounds harsh on the surface, but aside from hiring the most obvious and least qualified head coaching candidate and re-signing LeBron James to a near-max contract that was never truly in doubt, Pelinka was wholly inactive. He did add a potential contributor through the draft in Dalton Knecht, but the Lakers were silent throughout free agency and non-existent in trade circles. That leaves pretty much the same roster as last season intact, the same roster that was gentlemen swept out of the first round by the Denver Nuggets. One would expect the Lakers to take their station seriously at some point. We are talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, one of basketball's marquee franchises, and LeBron is entering what could feasibly be the last season of his historic career. The clock is ticking. There's no waiting for the tides to shift. As for the Nuggets, their offseason didn't go so well either. Russell Westbrook naturally drums up excitement, but odds are he's a replacement-level backup point guard at best. Dario Saric was a nice upgrade in the backup center role, but Denver lost an elite three-point shooter and bona fide all-defense candidate in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That comes just 1 year after letting Bruce Brown walk to conserve money. The Nuggets are operating cheaply despite a recent championship, which is unfortunate. Their fans deserve better. As it sits, the Nuggets' depth beyond the starting lineup leaves much to be desired. Denver needs more bodies. The Lakers need a meaningful talent boost. Perhaps these bitter postseason rivals can strike up a mutually beneficial trade. One of JJreck's biggest talking points after the Lakers hired him was upping their three-point volume. Michael Porter Jr. immediately accomplishes that goal as one of the best three-point shooting wings in the NBA. It won't be cheap, but Porter's contract is enough of a burden, $35.8 million this season and ascending for 2 more years, that he could be had for a reasonable price. Especially with the Nuggets in desperate need of more bodies. Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report made a compelling pitch for Porter's fit in Los Angeles. Porter is 6'10" with picturesque mechanics on his jumper. His volume and efficiency were down a smidge in 2023-24 compared to seasons past, but 6.8 attempts and a 39.7% conversion rate is still excellent by NBA standards. The Lakers would plug Porter into Hachimura's spot in the lineup, presumably shifting Austin Reeves to point guard, where he'd split ball-handling duties with LeBron. As for the Lakers' fifth starter, that spot probably belongs to Jared Vanderbilt or Max Christie. Denver gives up the best player, but gets 2 bona fide rotation pieces, perhaps even starters, in addition to draft compensation. That 2031 first-round pick could prove quite valuable down the line, so the Nuggets get immediate returns and something to bank on long-term. D'Angelo Russell is an admittedly wonky fit with the current Nuggets roster, but he's still a productive regular season weapon. The offensive fit next to Nikola Jokic is strong. He's certainly a more useful ball handler than Russell Westbrook at this point. If the Nuggets can avoid placing any real responsibility on Westbrook's plate, that would be ideal. JJreck reveals shocking Anthony Davis plan for the Lakers season. We are 2 weeks away from the start of the 2024-25 NBA season. The preseason is in full swing and the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to find the right lineup combinations for the regular season. New head coach JJreck is evaluating his roster as the Lakers are desperately hoping to take a significant step forward. As part of the planning for next season, Redick revealed a surprising new role for Anthony Davis. According to The Athletic's Jovan Buha, the first-time head coach likes to use Davis as a power forward and have him switch onto perimeter players. JJreck said one of the primary reasons he likes lineups with AD at the 4, as the Lakers used in the first quarter of their preseason Suns matchup, is the ability to switch him on to perimeter players. This is surprising for 2 reasons. 1. The Lakers don't have a viable center to play next to Davis. The only healthy big man on the roster other than AD is Jackson Hayes. Christian Wood, Jared Vanderbilt, and Christian Koloko are all injured to start the season. And Hayes is a terrible fit next to Davis. Hayes struggled as a backup center last year. He doesn't provide much on either end of the floor except as a lob threat and a transition finisher. He can't shoot and space the floor and isn't a very good rim protector. Pairing him next to Davis and playing extended minutes will create serious spacing issues for the Lakers. Secondly, having Davis out on the perimeter isn't the best use of his skill set. Davis can obviously guard anyone and everyone on the floor, but he is at his best near the basket as a rim protector. Having him guard out to the three-point line will tire him out and reduce his effectiveness. If the Lakers had a shooting big man who could space the floor, playing Davis as a power forward would make sense. However, the Lakers are already light on shooting in other positions, so they have no choice but to have Davis as their center so that they can get as much spacing as possible from other players. 3-team blockbuster Lakers trade idea to move Zack Lavine, Brandon Ingram, more. Trade rumor season in the NBA never ends. We may be at the outset of training camps around the league, and plenty of fan bases are as optimistic as they'll be for the next several months about their team's prospects, but there are still some contract and chemistry situations in need of resolutions. And trades are often the best sources of resolution. For example, Brandon Ingram didn't get an extension this offseason, is on an expiring contract and plays for a New Orleans Pelicans team without a starting caliber center. Moving him for a 5 almost seems like a no-brainer. Further north, the Chicago Bulls are in need of a full-fledged rebuild. And though off-season trades of Alex Caruso and DeMar DeRozan that landed them soon to be 22-year-old Josh Giddey and 2 second-round picks suggest they may have started collecting materials for that rebuild, there are still veterans who need to be moved. That, of course, includes Zack Lavine. So, we figured, why not help 2 situations with 1 trade? Such a deal is exactly what you'll find below. And surprise, surprise, it helps LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, too. The deal before we get into the specifics on how each team will be benefited by the trade, as always, we'll take a look at the entire structure in one frame. Lakers receive, Zack Lavine and Antonio Reeves. Lakers lose, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, a 2029 first-round pick and a 2031 first-round pick. Bulls receive, Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2029 first-round pick from Los Angeles, and a 2031 first-round pick from Los Angeles. Bulls lose, Zack Lavine, Chris Duarte and a 2031 first-round pick. Pelicans receive, Rui Hachimura, Chris Duarte, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes and a 2031 first-round pick from Chicago. Pelicans lose, Brandon Ingram and Antonio Reeves. You can quibble over some of the smaller contracts involved. The number of picks and where they're headed is often a source of conversation, too. But the foundation of this trade helps everyone involved, and I'll explain why below. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Zack Lavine? Leave your opinion in the comments.